Hi there, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. This is a 2003 Nissan Fairlady Z, also kind of known as the 350Z in some countries. It's a 3.5 liter, 6-speed manual transmission, rear-wheel drive. Comes with Brembo Brakes from the factory because this is the version S. It was bought from auction, and we're going to be sending this one to Canada to import under the 15-year rule. And so, the body on this one is in fantastic condition. Better than fantastic condition. You get this sign. Okay. It's yeah, basically no scratches, no dents. Well, there is one little bit of damage down here and down here, but that's basically it. Well, the car has 167,000 kilometers on it, which is, for Japan, fairly high mileage. But here's the thing, these Fairladies, they have a very reliable engine, very cheap to maintain, very simple vehicles, and so high mileage doesn't bother me on this. And because these are plentiful here in Japan, you can get them for a really low price if you go for the high mileage ones. So there's a strut tower brace on here. There's also some sort of like a HKS, it's like a grounding kit. I'm not sure why people put those on their cars. Comes standard with 280 horsepower, and you can find them modified pretty easily here in Japan. People supercharge or turbocharge them. You get a lot of power out of it. 3.5 liters is a big displacement, and so big power if you need it. 280 is already pretty good, and it's not turbocharged 280, and so that means the like you get that power right when you want it instead of waiting for the turbo, because at the time that this came out, turbo lag was a lot bigger of a problem than it is now. Quick look at those Brembo brakes. So this is a post-purchase inspection video, not for sale. We often get a lot of people emailing us like, hey, I want to buy that Fairlady. But no, these are all cars that have already been bought. So let's go over the auction information. So 2003, 167, 280 kilometers. 6-speed manual transmissions. That's cool. Auction grade 3.5, interior C. Toll collection box, alloy wheels, power steering, power windows, airbag. Original pearl paint. And then if you look at the body, see it says A1, A1, U1, U1, A1. None of those are significant. Usually an A1 is something you can buff out. A U1 is something that you won't see very well. The worst of it is 3 little dents right on the crease here, so I'll show you that. And for a car that is older than 15 years old, this is fantastic. Can you see them? They're really tiny. Okay, so let's do a once around here. You can see headlights are a little bit yellowed. And then this is a completely stock body on it. I don't know about the suspension. Is this lowered suspension? Let's have a peek in here. I can't see very well. Well, that looks original to me. You can see the control arms in there. They look like lightweight aluminum control arms. So we'll go around it. And you can see the lack of damage basically everywhere. They made this car for a good long amount of time. I think those headlights in the front are late model headlights that have been swapped over, because I think the late model didn't start until like maybe this is late model. I don't know. Turns out I don't know an awful lot about the Fairlady. If I were to guess a weight, I'd say somewhere around 1350 kilograms. But I don't know too much about these cars. But I would say, if you're looking for a race car right now, this is probably the best chassis you can pick up to be a race car at the moment in terms of like something that's going to be reliable, inexpensive, and perform well, be competitive, or even an autocross car. Okay, it has winter tires, which is a little bit weird. You typically wouldn't see something like that here in Japan. I mean, you do see winter tires here a lot, but not on the original wheels. People typically will have steel wheels for their winter tires. Some damage on the wheels. And Brembo's on the back, too. They call these the F50 kit. That's original wing on the back there. And I like the styling of it. I prefer the styling of the later generation ones, but these come in at a much lower price than those ones, and I prefer these ones in terms of drivability. The newer ones, they don't feel as fun to drive for me, even though they have a 370 3.7 liter engine instead. The interior, you know, if I had a perfect car, I would pick a different interior, but it is what it is. Lots of plastic on it. Seat has a little bit of wear. You can see here, and right there. I don't mind the seats. They're better than Silvia S15 seats, in my opinion. And it is a shame that Nissan doesn't make an S16, but it's hard to have two different rear-wheel drive, two-door sedans and make money. And so, a lot of wear on the steering wheel. This is abnormally high amount of wear, and it comes from the sun damage. Usually when there's a steering wheel this bad, you'll have bad paint, but the paint on this one is actually pretty good. Where did I put the key? Here it is. I'll show you the orange gauges. Okay, we also got a free CD in here. Listen. Yeah. It's like a best of album too, so every song is gonna be rocking like that. And it's like 1987 to 2016. So it actually sounds pretty cool. Let's just check the name of that band. I can't remember it. I love getting CDs, and nobody uses CDs anymore, and so we rarely ever get them. Buck Tick, so you can go check them out. Look at how many different logos they have. Wow, that's because it's 1987 until 2016. That's a lot of logos. It actually sounds kind of cool, like 80s Japanese metalish rock music. I'm down. Okay, you get these pretend-looking gauges, which is funny. Nissan does that too with the S15s having one on the pillar here. You have nothing for like useful information really. These gauges suck. They never really show you the real oil pressure. The speed, I don't know why you would want a redundant speed that is out of your line of view. And then the battery voltage. I guess you could put in other gauges into that pod though. This is a radar detector with the solar panel for some reason, and this one here is like a hands-free microphone and speaker. 167, 296 kilometers. I think these cars hold together pretty well with the higher mileage in terms of like interior. Not this steering wheel apparently, but of the ones that I've bought, the steering wheels haven't been as bad as this. Sometimes they just do that. Okay, climate control AC, and the AC does work. You also have a CD player here. You already saw that. There's a screen here, and then it has DVD playability through that. I find that the gear shifters are a little bit too short. I'm used to a longer gear shift, but to each their own. The clutch pedal feels spongy, but the brakes feel good. The throttle response is good. I like the driving position. I kind of wish that the sills were a little bit lower. This is up pretty high for safety reasons, I guess. And it makes for kind of a car that you feel like you're sitting down lower in. I kind of prefer to sit up higher in a car. I don't have very much to talk about this one. I'm going to open up the trunk so that you can see. It's weird, the button's down here. So you have to push the button, and then it doesn't lift up easily with one hand. Let's just two hands it. And the dampers here don't work very well. The trunk has this weird, it's a strut tower brace that kind of intrudes on the space that you have in the back. The positive is that you get a stiffer chassis, and I always find that the chassis of these are fantastic. And you can kind of tell by the design, like the sills are very high up here, the roof goes right into the back, and yeah. That is that. If you have made it this far into the video, I'm just going to do a quick little run over here because this This made me think about the visibility out of the car. The city, the seats are up nice and high in it. Now I wish the seats would go back further, but here's my line of sight in this car, and that is almost like a full foot above the position where it is on the Fairlady, which is like right here. And so this car gives you a lot of the type of I guess 80s and 90s visibility that I'm used to. And I will close that caravan door. I just have some tools out. We were doing some cool stuff, removing seats and putting tires on something. Okay, so there you have it, 350Z with the Brembo brakes. And so as usual, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.